Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I'm going to give you my top 10 plus list of best optional uniforms. Now, what is an optional uniform? Well, obviously every uniform in the game is good for every character. We've gone over that, besides like the cel-shaded Loki, but some uniforms you buy them and they're really good for the character, and like, you know, this one for Ghost Rider, the new one for Loki, the new one for Thor, etc. It's just transcending for the character. But sometimes if you have enough crystals, you have to make a purchase where you're not purchasing the uniform because you're going to be using that character specifically, but you're purchasing the uniform because it is going to unlock optional stats for a bunch of different uniforms that you already own. Because if I buy this Ghost Rider uniform, that's great. I can get it to Mythic, I can get all the new effects, all the new skills, all the new passives, sure. But look at all these buffs down here, right? If I don't have Human Torch Future Foundation, if I don't have Crescent Lifestyle Series 1 and Captain America Hydra Supreme and Namor Phoenix 5 and White Fox, if I don't have these other uniforms, then I don't get the 1500 attack speed, I don't get all that dodge and crit damage, etc. And especially when you're newer to the game, but also if you just haven't gotten lucky with your cards, these optional stats are super important. Now, the importance of the third optional stat may decrease as more players craft and as crafting becomes more accessible, and you don't need as much, there's not as much pressure to get ignore defense or cooldown. Or, for example, dodge might not become as valuable as it is for a rage because you can get it on card stats as well, but that's a conversation for another time. For now, I'm going to be assuming that the same rules apply for optional stats, because optional stats are always the same stats in the same slot. So the first slot is okay, it's attack speed or cooldown or maybe movement speed. The third slot is one of the best because it's HP or energy physical attack, so it's an attack stat or a defense stat. The third slot is really good as well because you've got ignore defense, HP, skill, cooldown. You've got basically everything good except recovery rate. The fourth slot is generally the weakest because it's just dodge or all defense, and then a bunch of other stuff. And then the fifth slot is also very popular. The mythic slot is also very popular because it's the attack stats and then also like the physical energy and then also the crit rate, crit damage. So generally speaking, the third one is the best, then the second one, then the fifth one, and then 1 and 4 kind of like eh. So what I'm going to be doing today is telling you guys which uniforms you can buy that will hit and basically become options for the most other meta uniforms, right? Because I don't just want to tell you, oh, hey guys, you can buy this uniform and it's useful for like 10 different characters. Yeah, but those 10 uniforms are not good. You're not using those 10 uniforms. So I've gone ahead and done the dirty work for you, but I could not have done any of it without the help of RJ. RJ created and maintains this website. Fantastic work to him. He's one of the Reddit mods. I've met him in person, really nice guy. And I basically use this to go ahead and check because he has a system where you can go over to the uniform infographic and you can see what a uniform takes, like what a uniform needs. So for example, we've been talking about this Ghost Rider uniform, it shows you, but then what you can do is you can actually click at the bottom here, it says reverse uniform infographic, and it's going to show you that right now Ghost Rider is an optional for the mythic option on Gambit. And of course, we can always just verify this in game. Not that, RJ's wrong, but you can just verify this in game by going to Gambit and checking out his uniform and seeing that in fact the mythic option is Ghost Rider King of Hell. So I'm using this resource. I've left a link below in the description to the resource, to the website if you want to check it out. There's tons more information. I've just scratched the surface on what this website provides, but I just want to give a big shout out to RJ because every time I make one of these videos, I only do so quickly, because RJ has created this amazing resource for all players to use. If I didn't use this, if I had to go in game and check manually, it would take me a lot longer. So coming in at number 10 is Captain America Hydra Supreme, and I'm going to explain why I'm ranking these now with number 10. So as you can see here, there's only 3 uniforms that this uniform is an optional for. It's Kamala Khan Heroic, Ghost Rider Heroic, and Loki Mythic. So when I look at uniforms as optionals, I think of 2 things, because you want to get the most bang for your buck. You want to get the most return on those crystals. Maybe you're never going to play Captain America Hydra Supreme. You don't want to use him as a blast villain, etc. You want to use that endgame sword or shield and Mjolnir. Did I say sword? Anyways. So I look at 2 things. One, how many uniforms does it hit that are meta? It's not just how many uniforms, it's also how meta they are. So Kamala Khan's not meta, but this is by far her best uniform. And then Loki and Ghost Rider are very meta. So you have 2 very meta uniforms and 1 best, but not quite meta uniform. That's the first thing I look at. The second thing I look at is which options are they. Remember I mentioned that the second stat is the best, then the third stat is the second best, and then the fifth stat. So those correspond to blue, purple, and then red. So the more blue you see, the better it is. The more purple you see, the better it is. The more red you see, the better it is. So this hits all three. This hits two of the three good colors, purple and mythic. So you can see that these are the good stats here with recovery. Besides recovery, you've got ignore defense, cooldown, HP, attack speed, and then of course the last one for Loki there. So that's why this one comes in at number 10. Coming in at number 9, we have Human Torch Future Foundation. Not a good uniform. Definitely, you know, you can definitely pass that uniform, whereas Hydra Cap is actually an upgrade for Cap. This one is not really an upgrade for Johnny, but you can see that he becomes a very good optional for four different uniforms. Not this one. So for Jean Grey Marvel Girl, he's her mythic option, which is very important. For the new She-Hulk Avengers, which is her best, although she's not very meta, you've got the best option there with the heroic, the purple slot. Then you've got Black Bolt, not the best one, it's his first option, but it's still attack speed or cooldown for the newest one for Black Bolt. And then for Ghost Rider, so you've got three extremely meta characters and one kind of meta character getting an optional there, and that's why Human Torch is on this list. Coming in at number 8, we have Mysterio Far From Home. This is an amazing uniform for Mysterio. He could obviously be better, but it's a very, very good upgrade for him, sort of like Kamala Khan. And then you can see that he becomes an optional for not the best characters here, but multiple good slots for different characters. You got Captain America, Hydra Supreme. You've got Scarlet Witch, the newest one. You've got the new Red Hulk, and then the new Spider-Man Miles Morales. Again, depending on whether you want to use these characters, this uniform might fall lower on your list. If you really don't care about these two, especially at the bottom, then this one doesn't really have value to you. But it is 4 of these uniforms that are technically the best for these characters and the newest for these characters. A lot of them came out very recently. The only one I would say maybe have a little bit of hesitation for, in case we do get a WandaVision update, would be anything that features the new Scarlet Witch uniform as an optional for that. So I sort of kind of deduct points there. Coming in at number 7, we have Ronin Captain Marvel. This one, the quality is a little bit different. I guess he doesn't like Ronin anymore. It's okay. I'm just kidding. But this one is actually an optional for lots of good uniforms. These are actually all the best uniforms. You could sort of argue against Cable, X of Swords if you really like Summer Days, but these are basically all the best uniforms for all of these characters, right? Again, keep in mind Vision could get a new uniform, but you've got the absolute best slot for Sharon Rogers, which is huge. And then you've got decent slots for Cable, She-Hulk, Taskmaster, Vision, and Thing. Again, if you don't use these sort of side characters, if you're really just focused on the hyper metas, then Ronan is really just used for Captain America or Sharon Rogers and Cable. But those are two pretty big hitters that he's applying some pretty nice buffs for them in stat, form. Coming in at number 6, I think this is Magic Phoenix 5. This uniform is a big disappointment for Magic. It's a very small power bump for her, and it basically just gives her the Phoenix Force tag for Shadowland, and it gives her the ability to be a villain. That's all. But on the flip side, they want to sell you this uniform because it is here for a lot of meta or near meta uniforms, and also Iceman. So Sharon Rogers, you have the best slot for her. Boom. You have the best slot or the second best slot or the third best slot for Bullseye. Boom. Then you have a decent slot for Doctor Strange and Star-Lord, the newest uniforms there. So you've got 4 highly meta characters, and then Iceman rounding out the list. This is a very good value uniform if you're buying it for the optionals and you've already maxed out or near maxed out these uniforms for these respective characters. Coming in at number 5, this is Cyclops Phoenix 5. This one is good because it turns him into a villain. It gives him more buffs on his leadership so that he can and passive, so he can become a better leader and better support character. And yeah, it's the one that everybody uses if they tier 3 Cyclops. And boom, Silver Surfer. Like this one's probably one of the craziest ones. Heroic, which is one of the best stat lines for Silver Surfer, Odin, and White Fox Lifestyle Series 2. He really only loses points because this one is a paywall uniform, but man, this uniform is just hitting a lot of meta and sort of like, proximity meta characters. Medusa's used as a great support and lead for Null and for other content, and it's her legendary option. So yeah, and then Crossbones. He's not that bad at all. Shout out to Gravity Punch. So yeah, definitely top 5 worthy. Coming in at number 4, this one might shock you. Watch Mojo. We've got Domino Marvel Now. I was blown away when I clicked on this one and I saw who she buffs. I was like, what? Yeah, Hulk, Immortal Hulk, right? His most important stat line because he just wants as much HP as possible. Then you've got Moon Knight. This uniform is so popular, and it's the best one for him because it's the one that gives you physical attack or HP. So out of the gate, it's crazy. Then you've got a suboptimal bonus stat for Carnage, but then you've got the legendary option for Gambit to give him more dodge. Bro, what? This one's so good, and it's so meta still, because meta for PvP, meta for PvE, meta for PvE, meta for PvE. So wild. Not a bad optional in sight. Just mint everywhere. No thing, no vision, you know, no like so-so uniforms. Crazy. Anyways, coming in at number 3, we have Storm X-Men Red. And this one hurts a little bit because Storm has a better uniform, of course. She's got the X-Men versus Inhumans uniform, and she got her tier 3 with that one. She has her tier 3 with this one too, but anyways. But yeah, Rogue's uniform, just ignore that one. But Red Skull's newest uniform, Cosmic Ghost Rider's newest uniform, Odin, and Loki. And it's also the best slot for both Red Skull and Loki. So it's villain heavy. Again, if you don't invest in villains for whatever reason, or you don't invest in universals, because 3 of those 4 are universals, it might not matter to you. But if you do, maybe consider picking this one up. Coming in at number 2, this one honestly legitimately shocked me. I'm not going to do the Watch Mojo joke again. Ronin Endgame. Yeah, again, great uniform for him, although he's fallen way out of the meta. You know, he basically needs a new uniform at this point. But the best uniform for Quicksilver and Jean and Red Hulk and Venom and Thor. And it's the best stat line for both Jean Grey and Thor, or the second best, and the best stat line for Venom. So this one is crazy value. There's no way that you don't have one of these 5 characters on your radar that you're either building or have built and use daily. So yeah, this uniform is very, very valuable for those reasons. Crazy optionals. And then number 1, Spider-Man 2099. This one hurts because, of course, he's a paywall character, right? It's hard to get his bios. So getting this one to Mythic in order to give the most stats to these characters is going to hurt. But when you look at these characters, your jaw kind of hits the floor. Best uniform for Apocalypse, who's very meta. Best uniform for Dr. Octopus, who is sort of sliding out of the meta, but still very close to the meta. And then and then, you know, amazing slot for Gambit and Punisher, and then the best slot for Medusa. Wild, wild, wild buffs here that Spider-Man 2099 is providing. So that is my ranking for the top 10 best optional uniforms. However, I wanted to go a step further, and I was just having fun finding uniforms for you guys. So I want to show you now a different list. These are uniforms to look out for. This is basically like a honorable mention, I guess you can call it. These ones did not make the cut for top 10, but these ones either have a lot of good optionals. Some of them are kind of falling out of use or could be replaced soon, but they're still worthwhile, just not top 10 worthy. So we've got Nightcrawler, X-Force. I'm not going to go into as much detail with this one. We've got the new Hyperion Classic, which is one of the ugliest uniforms in the game, sadly, but it is 3 meta uniforms right there, or the best for that character anyways. Emma Phoenix 5, another disappointing uniform, but it's, you know, a good bonus for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, it's wild, bro. It's wild. They did this on purpose, obviously. You've got Ebony Maw Infinity War. Besides the Doctor Strange one, you got the newest ones for Luna and Sharon, which is kind of rough. And then they added Odin this year, or last year. So yeah, this one's one to look out for. This is going to continue to gain value as they add 1 or 2 more optionals, depending on who they add it for and which stat line. You've got the Dr. Octopus. Besides this one here, these 2 are very meta, and they've got good slots. You know, rare and mythic. Those are basically the best slots. You've got Deadpool X-Force. Again, not the most accessible uniforms with 2 paywalls right here, but yeah, they keep adding him to high-ranking, high-value uniforms as an optional. Crescent herself, Hulk, Ghost Rider, White Fox, Enchantress. Again, expensive uniforms, 2 paywall uniforms. Ouch. They really want to sell this uniform, don't they? Yeah, hurts, but it is what it is. You've got Colossus Phoenix 5, amazing uniform in and of itself, but also a great optional for multiple uniforms, including, most recently, Rogue Excalibur, my girl, Anna Marie. We've got Cable. This one's old. It's been replaced now by Summer Days and the new Kid Cable, but yeah. Odin, Dormammu, 30th Deadpool. This one's not going away. They're going to use this one at least 1 or 2 more times, I'm guessing. They want to milk that one for as many crystals as possible, and then for you to rank it up with Bam and Gold. We've got Quicksilver Uncanny. This one is shaping up to be possibly number 1 for the next time, or the next time I make this video, because right now the 2 that it has are mind-blowingly good. Silver Surfer Black and Doctor Strange, and it's the rare and heroic slots, which is just like, you know, bussin' territory. We got Punisher, we got Cosmic Ghost Rider for Carnage and Cable, and then we've got the White Fox Lifestyle Series 1. This is the non-paywall, but it has been replaced, made obsolete uniform, Yelena, Ghost Rider, and Valkyrie. So I'm losing my voice. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of the list. Thanks once again to RJ. Love you guys. Be safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.